Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about the cost of living adjustment for 2023. Before we get into the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on your bell notifications so that you're always notified whenever a new video is posted. If you enjoy the video, please make sure to give it a like. It helps out the channel a great deal. If you had any questions, leave a comment down below. Alright, so here's the fact sheet from SSA.gov about the 2023 cost of living adjustment, or COLA, changes. The tax rates are still the same, so for those that don't know the difference between these two things right here, whenever you see something that says employee, this indicates that you're an employee of a company. You get paid in the form of a W-2. The percentage of your wages that are taxed is 7.65%. The reason for this is because your employer pays for half of the tax burden and the employee pays for the other half. So that's why when you look at self-employed, it's exactly double. So if you're a self-employed person, or like you're a 1099 independent contractor, the entire tax burden is on you. So that's why the number, or the percentage I should say, is doubled. Okay. This is the maximum taxable earnings. So what this basically means is if you had a job where you're making $200,000 a year, you will only, going into 2023, you will only be taxed Social Security taxes on the first $160,200. There is no cap to Medicare. So if you make $5 million, you're going to be paying $5 million of Medicare taxes. Excuse me, you will be paying taxes on $5 million, not paying $5 million in taxes. Your quarters of coverage are slightly increased, obviously, again, with any cost of living adjustment. Again, the yield of benefit is higher, so what you got to pay in is going to be higher as well. A quarter of coverage. So for those of you that don't know, to be insured for Social Security benefits, you need 40 quarters of coverage. This equals 10 years of work history in the U.S., and there is a specific dollar amount that you need to hit to earn 1 quarter. So for an example, let's say you made $500 for the entire year. That wasn't enough to earn 1 quarter. So your tax burden is going to be, if you have any, is going to be, and I think the tax burden, in order to pay taxes, you have to make like $400 or something like that. It might be different now, but to get 1 quarter of coverage, you have to earn at least $1,640 going into 2023. Currently, it's $1,510. Retirement earnings test exempt amounts. So what this means is if you're under your full retirement age and you are not within the year of your full retirement age, going into 2023, if you are receiving retirement benefits, you are allowed to earn a gross of $21,240 for the year. If you're a self-employed person or a 1099 independent contractor, this would be your net profit instead of your gross wages. Gross wages come up on your W-2, and your net profit would be any sort of after any sort of deductions that you might write off. So let's say as a self-employed person or a 1099 independent contractor, you made $10,000 for the year, right? If you were found a way to write off, let's say $8,000 of that, then that means your net profit is going to be $2,000 out of that 10, and that's what you would pay taxes on, right? And then just to kind of go into it a little further, so you can kind of see or know what to expect. So let's say your net profit was $2,000, and then we're going to times that by the point, what would that be? 1530. So that's this up here, the 15.3%. That means that you would, in order to get the credit for that $2,000, you're going to pay $306 in taxes. All right. Now, if you're in the year of your full retirement age, you have a significantly higher limit. So as an example, I had a client this morning. He was born in December of 1960. So let's look here. His full retirement age is 67, right? So 1960 plus 67. So this means in January of 2027 through the end of November of 2027, if this number was still the same, which it won't be, more than likely, but if it was, this means from January 1 through the last day of November, he can earn up to $56,520. And then once he, you can see right here, beginning the month of an individual attains their full retirement age, there is no earnings limit at that point anymore. All right. If you are receiving, this is super important, if you're receiving a survivor's benefit, so let's say that you're a widow or a widower, as far as benefits go and having a reduced benefit, you have a different full retirement age. So you can receive an unreduced benefit at an earlier age compared to like if you were on retirement benefit. So as an example, I believe right now, or if you were born in 1960, your full retirement age for your own retirement benefits off of your own record would be 67. But if you were filing as a widow or a widower, it would be 66 and 4 months, right? So you're allowed to receive an unreduced benefit at an earlier age. But your earnings restrictions are still based off of your own full retirement age. Right, so that may make the difference for people. So for the guy that I was just talking about, let's say his full retirement age was 67 and 2 months, as an example. That would put him into February of 2028, and the calendar year would be completely different, right? So that means that he wouldn't have that same luxury of having the entire year to earn $56,520 without it impacting his benefits in the same way. So it can make the difference for some people. Continuing down, this has to do with disability. All right. So if you're receiving Social Security disability benefits and you're working, moving into next year, your substantial gainful amount, if you're not blind, is $1,470 in gross wages per month or net profit if you're self-employed. If you're blind, it's $2,460. If you're asking yourself why these numbers are different, it's because if you're blind, your cost of living is probably much higher because you can't drive. So this means that you have to be taxied somewhere more than likely to get to work. You may take the bus. You might have to hire somebody to guide you around. It just depends on your situation, but your expenses are probably going to be much more higher than if you weren't blind. The trial work period numbers are going to increase to $1,050 from $970. So there's two parts to the working program: the trial work period and the extended period of eligibility. Again, with the trial work period, it's going to be $1,050. Maximum Social Security benefit: worker retiring at their full retirement age. So what this means is, as it stands right now, the way that your benefits are calculated is using your highest 35 years of work. Okay? If you work 50 years, the Social Security Administration is only going to consider your highest 35 years of work. So if your full retirement, or I should say at your full retirement age, if you have maxed out every single one of those years with the applicable max tax bracket, which again, going into 2023, it's going to be 160. In 2022, it's 147. In 2021, it was like 140, either 142 or maybe mid-low 130s. If you've maxed out every single one of those years, this would be your maximum check right here. That is not accounting for delayed retirement credits. Delayed retirement credits are when you're at your full retirement age, you decide not to take your benefits and you delay. So every month that you delay the start of your benefits, you're essentially earning interest. The longest that you can do this is to age 70. It doesn't matter what year you were born. The longest that you can acquire delayed retirement credits is up to the age of 70. And at that point, you need to make a choice on what you want to do. All right, SSI was $841. It's going up to $914. So your maximum check that you can receive from SSI is $914. There's a couple of exclusions in there that might might keep a little bit of money in your pocket if you're like a concurrent beneficiary. This means that maybe you receive Social Security and SSI, or it can kind of vary. So as an individual, the most that you can receive is $914. As a couple, it's 1,371. Your resource limits for SSI. So this is basically an easy way to put this is if you're a single person receiving SSI and you have more than $2,000 in your bank, your check should be suspended until it falls below $2,000. If you're a married couple and you both receive SSI, your resources can be no greater than $3,000 as far as monetary value. SSI student exclusion. I am not familiar with this. When I worked for the Social Security Administration, I was a Social Security claims representative, and SSI is it's a completely different program that Social Security administers, and I'm not as well versed in that. All right. Estimated average monthly Social Security benefits payable in 2023. So this is just some, again, estimated. So this means they're just kind of guessing, what it's going to look like. So these are probably taking all of the averages of what people receive. We did a video last week that was kind of going over averages with the annual earnings test. So you can see the average of all retired workers is approximately 1827. Age couple, both receiving benefits. Your total household might be bringing in just under 3,000. If you're a widowed mother with 2 children, the average would be about 3,500. So that would mean a widowed mother. So that means like you're married, your husband dies, and you have minor children, or it specifically says mother. It doesn't say parent, because that's usually the case. But men are more likely to pass away at an earlier age than women are. Aged widow, and then you can see right here it says So if you're a male who has survived, if your wife passed away, you would be a widower instead of just a widow. Okay, so looks like widowers on average are getting about $1,700. Disabled worker, spouse, and 1 or more children, about $2,616. All disabled workers are averaging about $1,483. Okay. And just one more thing to touch base on with the cost of living adjustments and how it works. I've seen a ton of questions about this. Social Security benefits are paid a month behind. So what that means is your check for December comes in January. Cost of living adjustments are always effective with this December before the new year. The reason for that being is so that when basically comes down to tax purposes. If you receive Social Security benefits, you're going to get a 1099 to file with your taxes if you're in a tax bracket where you pay taxes. So when they make adjustments to benefits like this, it's always effective with December. That way you're kicking off the new year, January, in the first month of the new year with this adjusted payment. So that's the reason being for that. Now, if you're somebody that has like a third-party Medicare plan, like an Advantage plan, a Gap plan, or you have a third-party plan from Humira, Blue Cross, Cigna, things like that, and there's an adjustment to your premiums with them, there will be a phase where you kind of, if your premiums for that private plan are going to adjust, you might get a letter in the mail saying something along the lines of, we have stopped deducting this premium out of your Social Security check, and it will be unfortunately very vague because it is a third-party plan. So Social Security's responsibility is just to let you know we aren't, and they're very technical about it, I guess, if you really look at the letter, we are no longer deducting this premium out of your Social Security check anymore, which would make a common person kind of scratch their head and say, well, why would you stop doing that? If you wait another week to week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, depending on where you live and how slow the mail is, you'll get a subsequent letter saying, we are going to start deducting this premium out of your Social Security check. So if you have a situation where your third-party plan, let's say it was costing you $10 a month and now it's going to change to $12 because of the cost of living, again, Social Security is obligated to notify you of that change, and it's just kind of like a slow process because they'll get an indication from your health carrier, probably sent something to Medicare letting them know of the adjustment. Medicare tells Social Security. Then Social Security generates the letter, sends it to you. Then they'll send Medicare another letter saying, this is what the new premium is. Medicare tells Social Security, and then subsequently, Social Security will send the letter telling you. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you have any adjustments, if you're not sure, I would imagine that your third-party insurance carrier more than likely would have notified you that your premiums are going to be changed. in the upcoming year. This is not uncommon. I would say between November and December of every year, if you have something like that and the premiums are changing, there was probably some sort of notification sent to you through USPS or regular mail, or maybe even an email if you have paperless settings. Okay, so if you're confused by that, I would just look through any notifications you might have gotten from those entities and kind of what that said, and it might clear up any concerns. And if you're still confused, give your local Social Security office a call and just make sure that everything is good to go with your insurance plans and your premiums and things like that. Again, if you enjoyed the video, you got something out of it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel a lot. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your bell notification so you're always notified whenever I post a new video. And if you had any questions moving forward, just go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll answer it as soon as I see it. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good day.